many of whom called him Baba. And of course, he started singing the lyrics. Something called now the broad-based government, which saw some of the ODM lieutenants, trusted lieutenants of the ODM leader Raila Baaba taking over various key positions within cabinet just to quell the uncertainty in the country. But the deputy president has assured everybody will have a chance to view the body. But you can see the crowd that is behind that particular tent is quite staggering. But I assured that they will have the opportunity. Yesterday, you witnessed what happened in Kasarani. They came in their numbers, but they were assured they will view the body, and they did outside the precincts of the stadium, given that the itinerary that was set out by the committee was supposed to take the body to Lee Funeral Home to be preserved first and then to Parliament for public viewing. But the program was disrupted due to the sheer number of the mourners and supporters who poured to the street, of course, eulogizing the man who many have touted now to be a legend. Now, President William Ruto has assured that the state will support not only the family, the ODM supporters, but the country at large during this trying moment, as the country still comes to term that the former premier is no more. So, dear viewer, worry less. We're giving you 360 degrees view of what is happening at the Nyayo Stadium. We will not leave this particular coverage until that particular body is returned to the Lee Funeral Home where it will be preserved. And we're waiting for the members of the public to continue viewing the body. And the process has clearly stated, as the DP clearly stated, that this particular exercise, there is no hurry. So the members of the public can take their time to view the body of the late Premier. But Ida also clearly talked about ensuring that the family continues to mourn. You can see my colleague O'Brien Kimani is joining us. Yesterday, O'Brien was able, of course, to take us through what transpired in Kasarani. But O'Brien, a sheer contrast to what happened in Kasarani. Today in Nyayo Stadium, everything went according to plan. That was, of course, highlighted by none other than the funeral committee being spearheaded by the deputy president, as well as Dr. Oburu Ginga, who has now been named as the acting party leader. Now I'm leaving you in the capable hands of my colleague, that is O'Brien Kimani. Do join us, of course, tomorrow as well. We'll be coming here as early as 6 a.m. This particular coverage will be continuing till Sunday, when the ODM leader, Raila Odinga, will be laid to rest. O'Brien, over to you.
Well, many thanks indeed, Ahmed Aziz, for taking us through the whole session. I mean, it's been you've been here for long. I mean, you started this journey early in the morning, and you've been here with us the whole afternoon. So we want to appreciate you and wish you a great afternoon ahead of you. Thank you very much indeed. I mean, and of course, as rightly put by Abdiaziz Hashim, when you compare yesterday's event at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, and today's event at the Nyayo I mean, there is complete difference. There is marked difference. You can clearly see that the situation at Nyayo National Stadium is calm, is very well controlled, and people acting, with a lot of orderliness. And I think probably maybe the reason why there was a lot of confusion yesterday is because it was the first day, and there was a lot of unknowns. But in the last 24 hours, we have seen the military planners together with the Barrier Planning Committee now managing to put in place, an elaborate security plan as well as a crowd management plan. And that's why you can see today there is a high resemblance of order, and people are acting accordingly. And this exercise of viewing the body is expected to continue until everyone has been given an opportunity to view the body. Yesterday, the whole situation was a little bit chaotic, but today, as you can see, there is marked difference with what is happening at Nyayo Stadium. If I can just take you through what has just transpired at Nyayo National Stadium. The body of Raila Odinga arrived at the stadium is about 9:40, where it was received by President William Ruto, Raila Odinga's wife, Ida Odinga, together with his family members who filled up the stadium to welcome him. We also saw the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, and the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya also being present at this memorial, and also giving his remarks. And many have eulogized Raila Odinga as a statesman, as a patriot, as the greatest of all time. And truly, this is indeed a historical moment. And as we have all come to see, Raila Odinga is the only Kenyan outside the head of state list who has been accorded this kind of elaborate state funeral, which shows that he was not just the ordinary politician. He was indeed a great Kenyan. Well, I'm not alone on the set. I'm joined by eminent persons who we're going to have a great conversation this afternoon. And of course, they have been at Nyayo National Stadium. They have been involved with the planning process of this whole event that is unfolding in front of us. And of course, they have known Raila Odinga at a level. For I just to Nyayo National Stadium, if you head to his home in Karen, where it is going to have an overnight stay, as well outlined in the Luo culture. From there, it will be airlifted to Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium in Kisumu, where the public will be given an opportunity to pay their last respect to Raila Odinga, and then thereafter, it will be taken to Siaya County for the burial plans on Sunday. Already, the final resting place for Raila Odinga is being prepared, and we have our reporters at Kangoka Jaramogi site, where the remains of Odinga are going to be interred. And of course, this is next to his father's mausoleum, the Jaramogi Oginga. And of course, we'll be linking up with our team there. So that
1962 and traveled to East Germany, where he was admitted at the Harder Institution. In 1965, Odinga was awarded a scholarship at the Technical School at Magdeburg, which is part of the philological faculty at the University of Leipzig in East Germany. He graduated with a Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering in 1970. He returned to Kenya after completing his studies and established the Standard Processing Equipment Construction and Erection Limited, later named Spectre, company that specializes in manufacturing of liquid petroleum gas cylinders. He had his first stint in public service in 1974 when he was appointed Group Standards Manager at the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, and promoted to the position of Deputy Director in 1978 until 1982, when he was detained because of his political activity. He was placed under house arrest for 7 months by the regime of former President Daniel Moi. He was later charged with treason, but was instead detained without trial for 6 years. During his time in detention, his mother died in 1984, which he says was his most painful memory. He was released on February 6, 1988, but was rearrested in September the same year and was once again detained. He was released on June 6, 12, 1989, only to be incarcerated again on July 5th, 1990, this time with Kenneth Matiba, Charles Rubia during the agitation for multi-party democracy. He was released on June 21st, 1991, but fled the country to Norway following the November amid fears of another arrest. That's just a brief history on Raila Amolo Odinga. Let's cross over to Nyayo Stadium, where Lennox Sengre is on standby and speaking to Adipo, who's the member of parliament for Karachuonyo.
In the present moment. So the man has gone with the heart of people. He's dead, but like people say, his spirit continue to be with us.
How do you forecast life or politics in Kenya without Raila?
Well, as human beings, I know it is difficult, but we have to adapt. We have to use the policy of Raila that in politics there is no enmity, permanent enmity is not there. If there is any enmity, it lasts for a very short time. What matters is your interest. Raila's interest of his love for the country. He wanted the country to be peaceful. So the first thing the country needs is to make sure that each and every one of us contributes to the peace needed in Kenya. That is the entry point. And if that's our goal, then it's easy to unite because we'll ask ourselves, whatever I'm doing, whatever you are doing, whatever you are saying and whatever I'm saying, does it subscribe to unity and peace which Raila was really in love of?
Mheshimiwa, I know you shared a very deep friendship with the Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga. What don't we know about him?
Well, some do not understand him because of how he does things. Like, for example, many people are blaming for joining Ruto and more so having a broad-based government. But the truth is, if you speak with him, the man wanted Kenya to be peaceful. He didn't want Kenya to be in a chaotic and lawlessness because what was happening at the time the JPs came, honestly, it needed somebody. That's what my worry is with this departure. It needed somebody like Raila to tell people stop it and they will stop it. I think that is a quality which really admire. And again, what is special about Raila and what people may not know that even if you wrong him, he has a heart for reconciliation. He doesn't hold any grudges permanently. That's the secret we may not know about it, about him. And like I was saying, joining Ruto, you see, he did that to save the country. When he joined the Uhuru, again it was because of that same thing. And again when he joined, well, even the second president, Moi, he wanted peace, he wanted things to go to run together. So his approach of selflessness in for the sake of the country is what was driving him, and this is what people may not really follow in details.
Mheshimiwa, I know at some point the head of state and also the former president, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, has mentioned that Raila was a global leader. But when it comes to Luo Nyanza politics, how will you put your house in order now Raila is not there?
Well, he advised us. His advice is after. He spoke with us. Whatever was speaking lives after him. He has left us with what was in his heart. These are the things which we need to follow when it's gone. So it's gone, but whatever he did is still on.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, so much for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Odinga. And so what we were saying yesterday was the reactions of grief, the first reactions of grief with people mourning differently and not knowing exactly what to do. But today, the reality is it's slowly sinking in that Raila Odinga, just like many people, or just like human beings, I mean, your life in this earth must at some point come to an end. And so it has happened for Raila Odinga. I give you a lineup of what is going to happen from today. From here at Nyayo National Stadium, the body will be taken to Raila's home in Karen for overnight stay, and then thereafter, tomorrow morning, it's going to be flown to Kisumu City, where it's going to lie in state for the whole day for the residents of Kisumu County to also pay their last respect. And then thereafter, the body will be flown to Siaya County, Bondo, where the various ceremonies expected to take place on Sunday. That is how things are going to unfold between now and on Sunday. Well, allow me now to turn on to Sylvester Kasuku. I mean, we've been saying this, that you have been a close confidant of Raila Odinga for since 1991. I mean, that's when your dalliance with Raila Odinga started. And today, what you have seen what has happened there? You know, speakers after speakers, you know, hailing Raila Odinga, you know, as a great statesman, as a patriot, and many other things. What do you think, or what do you say about what we have seen today? I know you are at Nyayo National Stadium.
Number one, I've seen that there's a lot of grief. There's a lot of emotional, loss. Meaning there's a lot of emotions about the loss of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. There is a lot of mourning, and in all these events, there is a lot of love expressed towards the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And as I did say yesterday and the day before, Raila Odinga, alive or dead, is the people's leader. He is one who is fully embodied in people's thoughts. Just as he embodied the people's needs, the people's aspirations, and the people's demands for a better Kenya. And as he lies there, people still see the icon of hope. They still see the leader who has led them all the years as they continue to champion for the cause of realizing the dreams of our fathers, forefathers, as he's always said. And he is actually, if you listen to all what the leaders are saying, they are all saying that Raila, irrespective of the seasons that we have seen in the political arena, whether it is a campaign time, whether it is the time when elections are completed and now the government is in place, or whether it is at a time when discussions are being done, whether in terms of government operations when he is in government, or when people are just in gatherings discussing the destiny of Kenya, Raila Odinga has been the icon of a true reflection of the people's desire for a leader. He has been the true reflection of one person who resonates with a lot of peace in his messaging. At no one point or at no time in his entire leadership did he ever advocate for a Kenya at war. He always said that he wants Kenya to be a peaceful country. And he has sacrificed on numerous occasions to forgo his own personal interests, for which many people always thought that he was even, that were even trying to call him a coward. That why did you leave it? Why didn't you pursue it? For example, during the 2000 elections, when wananchi, spontaneously rose to the level of post-election violence, upon seeing the bloodletting and the loss of lives, Raila Amolo Odinga said that no amount of leadership would really be fulfilling for him if it were to come by a way of shedding blood. And he said he was not interested. If that was the way, the route towards achieving the presidency that he contested for in 2007, then it was not worth it, if it was going to be achieved through bloodletting. And you can remember, he said that he was willing. Instead, I remember the day we went to meet President Kufuor. He was the first envoy that was sent to Kenya.
In 2007?
Yes, at Serena Hotel. No, not at Serena, at the Hotel Intercontinental. In that team, he was leading us, and we were with the current president, President William Ruto. We were with the Right Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. We were with Honorable Balala. We were with the Honorable Charlie Tingilu, among many others. And he stated it, that he has contested for leadership in the country. And he wanted to see that democratic principles are working. And that even when he is looking for leadership, that leadership should rightfully be gained through a democratic process. And then at the same time, while that democratic process, was the greatest desire, he was also saying that he would not like to gain that leadership in an unconstitutional manner, or in a manner that has led to bloodletting and loss of lives and sufferings of Kenyans. And as such, he was not willing to be in a situation in which even this leadership would be passed on to him as a result of people dying. So he said that instead of people fighting, he was advocating for peace and asking the government to avoid even exchanging with the people, killing people, so that people could come to a table. And he was even pleading with Wananchi through various media that please let us maintain peace and give us the opportunity to thrash this thing out in a constitutional manner and in a legal manner. And when the mediation teams were finally constituted, you saw him keeping away, and he signed to the framework that he was not going to be personally involved, and he would let selected negotiators to go into that mediation process, backed by the think tank, of which I was the secretary of the think tank at that particular time. And we had a number of think tank members stationed with us at the Pentagon, and he was almost permanently with us at the Pentagon, and giving us room for us to come up with solutions. In fact, he never came to the think tank room, which he called the hot room. He never came there to say that you must now write this. He told us, think freely, find the best solutions, find the best way forward that will allow Kenya to come to peace, and for a resolution to be found on the existing election debacle. And at the end of the day, the mediation process was meticulously carried out. Among them, President William Ruto was there, where they made sure that they carried out that process. And finally, the documents that we drafted, including the draft national accord that we had drafted, by the time he was discussing with President Kibaki, he still again stepped back. There were certain irreducible minimums, if you can remember.
I still remember that.
Yeah, which you were saying, the irreducible minimum. There were even structures of how to share government, how to share 50-50. Ministers, how to share 50-50. PSS, how to share 50-50. Heads of state corporations, among many other things. And when discussions were ongoing, particularly now after we gave them the draft, particularly when they went to OP, there was the view that no, let us not put too many details in this, because they might actually put us into a lockup. They might create a lacuna. So let us actually leave many things out to be done in good faith, but let us have the basic structure contained in the National Code. And Raila said, provided this is going to guarantee peace, this is going to guarantee fairness, this is going to guarantee the achievement of aspirations of Kenyans, he was Okay, and he signed on it. And going forward, you equally saw the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga really becoming the person that most people used to wonder how he was interacting with Kibaki. Because people were wondering, what were they doing that whenever he sat down with Kibaki, they would come up with the solutions, of which some of them would be slightly different from the proposals that were previously given by his side of the coalition. Because he always went for a middle ground that would be comfortable to both sides. He never said that he must always win and that he must win 100%. He said Kenya belongs to all of us. And that's what he kept on saying. Kenya belongs to all of us. Whatever we come with to the table are guiding frameworks for us to find a common ground, for us to find solutions to problems that are affecting Kenyans, rather than for individuals to find fulfillment for their individual ambitions. And he kept on saying there wouldn't be any amount of reward to an individual if it is at the detrimental of the country that would be so fulfilling that he would be endorsing. And many a times, you also saw, like when they went to Sagana for the selection of ministers and PSS and the like, when he came back and later on the PS list was read, he still said that is fine, even if the people, like when he had proposed us for a number of positions, when our names didn't come up, a number of my colleagues had bought new suits. Some when people were dressed in brand new suits.
And you're also supposed to be given a PS position.
Yes. I was slated for a very serious PS position, having been the chief drafter of the manifesto at that time. And when the list came out, we told him, anyway, now this is the list. He said, don't worry, there is no need for worry. Kenya is a big country. There is enough for everyone.
Yeah.
And because we have also learned in him, through the way we see him handling his things, I did not get annoyed as an individual. I said, anyhow, there are still many things to do. And even in 2002, when President Kibaki came to power, that time we were the young professionals, having worked tirelessly at the TRC, the Resource Center, led by Professor Wenjui. Again, that time, I think maybe some of us, we were being told that we were too young to be appointed to such high-level offices. We hadn't worked anywhere, really. But we found ourselves providing technical services in government because some of the ones were already consultants through World Bank. And we realized that this country, there isn't really a moment when somebody should be in a hurry. And Raila Odinga embodied that kind of patience, that kind of resilience, that kind of accommodative character in him. And that kind of letting personal interests go to allow for national interests to grow. So I can say that what we are looking at today, the man lying there, in the name of Raila Odinga, embodying the struggle for a just Kenya, for a constitutional management of national affairs, for fair distribution of natural resources, and for equitable opportunities availability for all communities of Kenya, is one person that we wouldn't say that is easy to forget and easy to assume. And also, O'Brien, if you looked at the speech that was given by His Excellency President William Ruto, he equally really eulogized the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and he equally echoed a number of the qualities that he bore that I'm talking about. When you listen to the fifth president of the Republic of, the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya, yes, Uhuru Kenyatta, you also saw him really eulogize the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, saying how Raila Odinga has been an icon of peace. And he's being a peacemaker. He's being a statesman that advocates for absolute peace in the country. is one quality that you wouldn't find with many. That any moment when his interests were compromised by situations that were leading to conflicts, he would say that let peace prevail and let my personal interest stay behind. Yeah. And equally, President Wu talked about that. And he even mentioned it. He mentioned very vividly the issues they went through when they had a handshake. Because the Right Honorable Raila Odinga went into that handshake so as to lend a hand to stabilize the country. Because after the polls of 2017, the country was split right in the middle. And considering the ensuing demonstrations and conflicts that occurred, people were not healed emotionally. People were not healed psychologically. People still had that feeling that the president was not the president that Kenyans were looking up to. So he wanted to create the bridge. He became the bridge between the aspirations of the people and where the people were. Because there was a big gap. And being that bridge, of course, a number of people still mentioned him using different terminologies. Others were displeased that why have you forsaken your legacy? One thing he said is that my legacy is not about its past, but my legacy is about what sacrifice I can make for Kenya, to make Kenya a stable country, to make Kenya a peaceful country, and to make Kenya a cohesive society. His call for cohesion, his call for nationalism, something that is unmatched, because he never called for nationalism, irrespective of the issues that divided Kenyans at elections. Yes.
Susan, you came to know Raila Odinga at a tender age.
Very tender.
Sorry?
She was very tender.
Did you come to know, and how did Raila Odinga change your life socially and politically?
So, first of all, let me speak a little bit about my journey. But for me, I'm going to put these thoughts together into a book. And
this, write a book.
Yeah. Oh, this one. In fact, we had a conversation with him some time back. I think that was around before COVID hit us, 2019 thereabout. And I had told him that I reflect back my journey in leadership, and probably I was one of those who were privileged. As a young person, to have been brought up or shaped by his ideals, his thinking, and even now where I see today, under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, who has also been a student of Honorable Raila, I think I got the best. If I'd say I got the top player. And so during the referendum of 2005, that was my first time that I got to have a closer interaction with the late Honorable, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Then I think there was LDP, something like that. Yes. LDP. So I never existed politically during the period of LDP. But then from that momentous period of the referendum, the Chungwa and the Ndizi, the banana, and as a young Kenyan who was just coming up, a youth with energies, but also still in college and joined college and coming up with those momentous. So we joined this euphoric moment, and we just you felt like it was just a push, It's like you're swimming in that wave, and the wave that is leading you to a future that you will dream about. So now, then after that, when this now was converted into a political movement, and I remember it was Balala, if I'm not wrong, Honorable Balala, who then suggested that why can this become now Orange be turned into a party, Orange Democratic Movement.
That was after the breakfast meeting where we presented
Yeah.
the opinion poll results.
So until then, we were still on the flanks. So just this active, like what you saw yesterday, like this passionate about the moment of the day, and you feel that your country needs you to do something. So then with that, then with time, we'll go to those meetings, and we just formed up. We go to those meetings, and Right Honorable Raila was a keen listener from my very own personal experience. I can not even recount how many of lunch meetings I had with him here at Nairobi Club, just the two of us. And he was very respectful both to the young people and to the elders, even people of his age, even people who were in the leadership circle with him. And if he was talking to you, he will give you that attention. And he's that respectful leader. When he says he wants to meet with you, even if the other people will know him, he will give you his time. He will ask other people to excuse from that table so that he talks to you. Let me tell you, something happened one time after he was elected, the ODM Kenya flag bearer. I don't know, Kasuki, if you remember after the Kasarani, the luminaries, and then he became the flag bearer.
Then it was now ODM.
So it was ODM, yeah ODM.
We had moved from ODM
Kenya now became ODM. So the following day, the following day, he called me because as one of his coordinator, I was a youth, but I was also coordinating for him. As young as he was, because I could take
That was 208?
That was 207.
207.
Yeah, so because I could take instructions, and sometimes they say if you want to send, you send a child, because delivers instruction the way. And Right Honorable Raila knew how to make use of, if he gave instruction, he wanted that instruction to reach as it was. A child will even keep on, singing, reciting until you repeat, you deliver the message. So without any distortion.
At that moment, what was the common cause between you and Raila Odinga?
No, because this is a young leader. He could see something in me. So let me tell you, before even that election, I was doing something with CMD Kenya, because now I had now become a political youth activist, studying by them. So Center for Multi-Partism Democracy. So I was doing something for them, some sort of an internship there, also just to get insight in the political space. Then we had a conference that was coming up in Ghana, which a majority of the CMD was sponsoring us to go there. And I even had a ticket. But then this election, the election of the ODM flag bearer, were going to take place like a week later. I think it was about in 4 days' time when I will still be away. But then because I had been the person who was communicating in between our delegates, some of them from Western, and then him, telling what do they need. So they were saying, the way elections happen, they happen in the sense that, especially the party delegate system, is in a way that you have to find a way of talking to your delegates, and sometimes the mapema, and find a way of convincing them, even your opponents. So I was in that space. I remember he will meet Java when he's how a delegates like, so Java, he comes in, and this is so we are from meetings, we met various delegates, comes the security teams, and then we just sit there on a table. Java restaurant is still there. That corner is still there.
Which one?
At it's called now it's called Junction. Then it was Nakumati Junction. Now it's called Junction Mall. Junction Mall, that Java is still there.
That's what you used to make.
Yeah, so we'll meet there during that delegates now conversation, and he will say, so did you did you talk to so-and-so? Yes. Did you tell him? Yes. What is the feeling? Namwambia. Then after that, he goes back with his team and he also go back. So then he told me, so I called him and he said, let's meet at Serena. Jacom, then we were calling him Jacom. Because what he want us to do, I want
just hold your thoughts there because we need to go to National Stadium for a minute and then we come back. You have a beautiful story that we want you to continue. Well, if you're just joining us, we're giving a blow-by-blow account of what is happening at Nyayo National Stadium. Of course, the past life of Raila.
Asante sana O'Brien Kimani, tunakujia moja kwa moja kutoka katika uwanja wa Nyayo hapa katika kaunti ya Nairobi. Muda mfupi uliopita hafla ya ibada ya wafu kwake Raila Odinga imekamilika, na sasa hivi kile kinachoendelea ni kwamba wananchi kule ndani wanapata ile fursa ya kutazama mwili wa Raila Odinga, na pia hapa kuna wananchi ambao wametoka kutazama mwili wake, na pia tungependa kupata maoni yao kuhusiana na jinsi ambavyo wanamkumbuka Raila Odinga. Pengine tukianza na wewe, nitakusikia.
Let me talk bwana. Let me talk bwana. Omera. Raila Molo Odinga.
Clearly, I mean, it's completely impossible just to have, conversation there. The crowd there is completely ecstatic, and you couldn't actually hear what our reporter Nancy Okware is saying. But we are trying to stabilize the situation there. And of course, once she is in proper position to talk, we should be going back to her so that she can give us some opinion of the people who are attending that who attended that memorial service. As you can see on your screen, you still have thousands of people lining up to view the body of the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga. This is an event that has been going on since around 1:15. Remember, the memorial service started at about 9:40 thereabout in the morning. It has gone all the way up to around 1 o'clock after President William Ruto made his remark. Then the whole process of body viewing was open. It is being overseen by a contingent of Kenya Defence Forces, together with the help of the General Service Unit, as well as administration police, as well as regular police, to ensure that order and normalcy is maintained. Remember, we don't want a repeat of what we saw yesterday, whereby the body viewing process at at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, was marred by violence, and of course, today's process is very calm, is very well controlled, and this is what we call military precision. I'll keep on repeating this, that the body from here will be taken to the current residence of Raila Odinga, whereby it's going to have an overnight stay there. And then thereafter, it is going to be flown to Kisumu. It is going to spend the whole day at the Kenyatta International Complex in Kisumu County. And thereafter in the evening, the body will be flown to Siaya County in Bondo, where people are going to be given an opportunity to view the body before it is moved to his Opoda farm, where the remains are going to be interred at Kangoka Jaramogi burial site next to his father's mausoleum at the rate Jaramogi Odinga. And of course, as I told you, we have our teams there who are keeping an eye on the preparation process there. The digging of the grave is currently underway, and there's a lot of movement there to ensure that the thousands of people who are going to make it to the burial site, are accorded the most respectful place possible. So we're back in studio here, where we continue our conversation with the company of Susan Mangeni, the Principal Secretary in the State Department for MSMEs Development, a long-time ally of President, of the late Raila Odinga. They have known each other for decades. And of course, we are also in the company of the man in the middle, that is Dr. Sylvester Kasuku, also a long-time ally of Raila Odinga. You were giving us your history with Raila Odinga, a very fascinating one, I must admit. And you're going back all the way to 2008, and the venue was Java at the junction.
So, and he will give instructions. And so I became that conveyor belt because, and for Raila to trust you, then you must have been someone with credibility, somebody who could be trusted, and somebody, of course, who is a good confidant, okay? And so many people also who wanted to meet him, most of them will come to me and say, can you talk to Jacom? Like I said, Baba came later. So can you talk to Jacom? So I call him, and he will pick. So my number was.
So you had become something like the go-between.
I was the go-between, and I think he also trusted me around that time because personally I'm not that guy who puts a price on things I do. So sometimes it can cause a challenge. If you want to be trusted, you grow up, and that's how he brought us up. So I was telling. So he said, "No, you cannot go," but I said, "Jacom, I really want to travel also, to feel good to travel outside the country." Actually, that was the first time I was going to travel outside East Africa, And now I have a ticket I'm holding. No, then I'm holding.
A ticket to Ghana.
I said, Jacob, I have a ticket to Ghana. I got to go. You see the way you feel.
And
you say, a young leader, you're going. Then he said, no. Oh, you can't go. Because it's a Rebecca. Please. So I say, now what do I just tell them you can't go. So because I couldn't go tell CMD that I can't go. I remember Angelica Beberi was. So I just kept to myself until people left. So in the morning, they kept on looking for me. I just kept quiet and kept quiet. Of course, I had to leave, to quit the space because I never went back. It was my burden now to go back and communicate. But again, I would trust that something good was just going to happen out of this. So we kept on. He was one person who will inspire hope in you. And that's why you see majority of Kenyans walking. Like imagine yesterday, first of all, people walked to the airport, many kilometers. People walked back again to town in the hope that they'll view from Parliament, and then they had to walk up to Kasarani without taking anything. And indeed, even us, and sometimes I say once a Raila, always a Raila, because I was even His Excellency the President. Once a Raila, always a Raila. We had nothing to eat since morning when you arrive at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and when we moved with the convoy, to go and wait for the body. We waited for more than 5 hours just for the body. Now the body to leave JKA.
Oh yeah.
Up to Kasarani. We were there in the presidential launch. We waited for those many hours, and we could see the head of state. I think each one of us, we went back to where we went. We're just appreciating this person, how he has touched us. And we didn't care. We haven't taken any water. We haven't. You could see His Excellency the President was just seated there. No, nothing. No lunch, no nothing. Up to the time when we were able, now the body came in. They did the processes, they prepared, and then we viewed the body. And we're leaving that place around almost 7. You can imagine that dedication. And I was just staring at the head of state, and I could feel him. Could walk back those many days, many nights that people were working. Remember, many nights when ODM was being formed, the sacrifice that His Excellency the President, and him, he was like a good champion, the frontliner, the fighter. People never used to sleep, and I could tell indeed this person really in. Yeah, so now I wanted just to give you another scenario, and I say he respected everybody from all walks of life. So the following day, immediately after, the day after he was given the flag bearer, the flagship, of the party. So then we had international, intercontinental hotel is still there. So we spoke in the morning, and again he was a person. After you've done the work well, now we had won. He liked debriefing, and he will debrief. And okay, you can bear me witness. He will debrief with each and every member of his team, especially if he give you a special assignment. I mean, if you key in organizing whichever activity assigned you. So he said he used to call me Susie. By the way, he never called me Susan or a woman because my middle name is a woman. He will either call me a woman or a Susie. That's how the fallen hero of ours used to call me. So we spoke in the morning, and he said, "Can we meet at Intercontinental?" Because he was to travel the following day to America. You remember? He was going there on a long tour. So then, so we went there. I didn't know he was like, at that particular time, everybody knew that he will be the next president. I mean, we were so sure. We were so sure that he was going to be the next president. So you could see people working in Serikali manner. Government swag. You could feel the air. You could see because people had worked and were saying, no matter what he had gone through, this is going to happen.
This is our moment.
So people already calling him, with that much respect. So, and he had not changed his security. So he was still, So he comes to the foyer, he finds me there, and he calls everybody now, "Congratulations, Jacob, congratulations, Jacob." Then he tells me, "Oh, let's go look for a table outside there at the swimming pool." I used to have a very nice place. So go look for a table. I'm coming there. So after like 3 minutes, he walks in there. So we sit. We sit there and we start talking. So he started briefing me and say, for sure, I knew that you're going to win. But I did not know that we are going to win this big. And so now we talk. A few things he tells me how, and then the laughter that Winnie talked about, that was his typical laughter. Like he once he knows that he has done something that people never imagine, he will laugh. That will surprise people, he will laugh. No, so when we were seated there, then some people walks in and they said, "Hey, come to say congratulations, Jacob." And then some people sometimes they don't have manners. They pull chairs. They say
to sit down.
Sit down. And
Not respecting your
not
privacy.
respecting. And you told them, "Excuse me, I'm talking to her." Or do you think because she's a small kid, I'm talking to her. My time is now with her. Can they respect and give us privacy? Imagine at my age, at that particular time, how I felt.
He protected you.
He protected,
your space.
and he always protected us by the way he protected young people. And if he wanted to earn his trust, just work as well. So you talked about you missing the PS. So then it comes 2013. It was the 2013 election, right? Where I was supposed to be nominated. I was even on
You're also supposed to be nominated.
I was even on the
as a PS.
Yes, 2013.
2013.
So no, before even 2013, he will sit with me and he always say, "I think you're intelligent. So if we nominate you, we will kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You're a youth, you are intelligent, and also you're a woman."
Those 3 things.
Yeah.
You had 3 things going for you.
And I remember Professor Nyongo and Henrik was gay. That was around that period, right?
Yes.
One time they pulled and say, like I was just that hustler now. I think by that time, if this hustler was there, it would be the
best example.
I'll be the best example. So I didn't believe
You are the hustler in the room.
because nobody knew my father. So it was not like crazy.